Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm good. Very nice. Thanks for inviting me. Neon Jazz.
I love your album.
Thanks a lot.
It's wonderful. I've been looking forward to talking to you about it. So thank you for taking a minute. And before we get into the album, I know that COVID was very difficult for jazz musicians. How
Right.
did how did you get through that time period?
I arrived in New York on January 1st, 2020, and I started my master degree at NYU, New York University, in the spring semester. 2 months after the start of the semester, the pandemic began. Pandemic started around the end of the March. I still remember at that time, I was practice piano at school building, and all students were notified to empty their lockers and leave the building at that time. Then many international students returned to their own country. Also, I had to make a decision, and I decided to stay in New York and see the situation. Actually, then I expected things to get better very soon at that moment. I never imagined it would take about 2 years to get back to the normal life.
Yeah,
Fortunately, NYU provided very nice policies for safety, and I followed them well. During the pandemic, I completed my master thesis and spent a lot of time composing and arranging songs. Fortunately, many faculty members and musicians in New York took good care of me,
good.
not only academically, but also emotionally.
Yeah,
They frequently asked me after me and helped me a lot. So,
excellent.
and the other thing is I had to teach online lessons, and it was very new for me.
Yeah,
It was a new challenge for me. I'm not I was not familiar with computers, things like that, and social media things.
yeah.
Now I'm familiar a little bit more. And at that time, I have been preparing to record my debut album during the pandemic, hoping things get better. That's it.
Yeah. So it's such a good album. What was your vision for the way that this album was going to sound? I mean, it's your first album, your jazz album. It's a big deal. So how does it feel?
Uh, I'm very glad. There was a lot of fear before the album was released. I thought a lot about whether I should rearrange the compositions in a simpler way, set up like trio, quartet, or quintet. But I decide just to release as it is by using my own arrangement.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, which should I put more weight on as a composer or as a piano player, and so on, things like that. I thought about preparing and practicing more and more and then release a debut album. However, I decided to just show myself as I am. I think music is more meaningful as it is, especially jazz music. I think accepting and expressing my current perspective is a progress and shows me as I am. So it become more comfortable after the release.
yeah. So talk to me about where you were born and raised and how you got into jazz.
I was born in Korea, absolutely. At a young age, I discovered my love for music. I did my associate degree at the Seoul Institute of the Arts in Korea. After graduating, I worked as a professional musician field like bandstanding, theater music, commercial music, something like that. And in 2016, I expanded my musical horizon by studying and playing abroad during my bachelor degree in Netherlands. I got good opportunity, Holland Excellence Scholarship. So I moved at Netherlands at the time. And then in 2019, I completed my bachelor degree 1 year earlier than I expected. I was fascinated by jazz music and eager to explore it deeply. So in 2020, I moved to New York City and received a master's degree from NYU Jazz Study.
Yeah.
That's my story.
Yeah. So who were musicians that you loved in the beginning that you listened to, jazz musicians?
To be honestly, in my teenager period, I loved the fusion jazz.
Yeah.
The GRP label or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Because that is kind of 80s sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in Korea, in 2001, introducing more frequently for me. Many teachers and friends introduced me, Eunmi, have you ever listened to this kind of music? So Spiral Gyra was my favorite band at that time. That is starting point.
Yeah. So when you came to New York, what was the first live jazz show you saw that you remember that you loved?
Yeah, maybe I was in many concerts, but the best thing I remembered, Darcy James Argue,
Yeah.
big band
Yeah.
jazz, and Vanguard big band jazz as well.
So what was the Village Vanguard like?
So I really want to study about big band jazz
Yeah.
in Netherlands, but not gonna happen there. So always I hope, what is the sound of the secret of the big band music? What is the energy? What is the arrangement? There are so many people gathering together, playing same purpose. It's very, how can I say, it's very meaningful to me.
Yeah.
I fall in love with that situation and sound, things like that. So at the moment, I saw many players in the big band, Darcy James Argue and Vanguard Jazz Orchestra. I didn't recognize who they are at the moment.
Yeah.
But after the entered NIU and I saw them.
So why do you love jazz?
I think jazz is not just pretend I can make jazz.
Right.
Jazz, yes, jazz is more like as it is. So maybe some part I can arrange or I can make structure for the section or for the form, but at a moment it happened. I cannot imagine detail happening. So that's the very attractive thing, I think. And it's very similar with our life, I think. Just happened and then disappear. And then there is always sound.
Yeah.
You know, there is no gender issue, race issue, something like that. But that's why I love jazz.
Yeah. So what do you like the best about being a professional musician?
Be a professional musician, absolutely. I can get more chance to play with real professional musician, to play together, and then talk about always communication with what do you think in this music, or how about your life in music scene, something like that. And more to be honestly, when I work in Netherlands, professionalism it was weird thing at that place. They hate that.
Yeah.
But in New York, professional is the basic things, you know.
Yeah.
I really love that perspective.
Yeah.
Professional is not about perfect thing.
Yeah.
Just be more serious in life as a human being.
Yeah.
So I can play by myself or by myself in playing alone, but more professionalism makes me to share together. Everyone listen to my music. There are many thoughts on that. Professionalism can make that moment, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, since we're coming out of Kansas City, I'm curious, if you were to come here and play live, what would a live show from you be like?
I'm going to open my release show end of the year or next year earlier. Maybe it will be January next year.
Yeah.
3 days ago, I got a phone call with Alan Faber about my religious show, something like that.
Yeah.
As you know, there are so many various settings in my album, right?
Yeah.
So I will rearranging for quintet or sextet, something like that. 3 horn, 2 horns
Yeah.
with rhythm section, and then opening show, that is the starting point, tour, a tour or another city, another country.
Excellent.
That's
So
my plan.
that's excellent. So Introspection is the brand new album. Where's the best place for people to buy it and learn anything more about you?
Via Bandcamp,
Okay.
yes, you can buy it or just listening, and you can buy physical CD
Yes.
like this, or just visit my website,
Okay.
www.eunmileemusic.com, or Googling, just typing Introspection Eunmi Lee everywhere.
Excellent.
You can find me.
Yeah, for sure. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for your music. Thank you so much for your story. And hopefully you get to Kansas City. I'd love to see you live.
Why not? Thanks a lot.
Right.
Thanks for having me, Neon Jazz. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.